Welcome to the Nebraska Nice Radio Show on Destination Radio, presented by Nebraska Tourism. I'm Jill Thomas. We're here every Saturday on Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 147, where you get to discover more about the nice moments and nice people that await you on your trip to Nebraska. We're being overloaded with advertising for holiday gift shopping at this time of year. All of the national chains are everywhere on radio, television, newspaper, and more than ever, online through email, Facebook, and other social media. All of this makes it more important than ever to explore local Nebraska retailers for gift ideas. You can find unique, one-of-a-kind specialties, and the money you spend supports the local economy, local business, and local people. Megan Erke from Select Style in Lincoln, a boutique shop for women. Cody Schmick of Kincaidor Brewing Company in Broken Bow, a farm craft brewery in the Nebraska Sandhills. Susie Robeson with Serendipity Chocolate Factory in Tekamah, decadent confections that make the perfect gift. And Kelly Sybrant from the Whistle Stop in Bassett, women's clothing and gift specialties. Local holiday shopping in Nebraska on today's edition of the Nebraska Nice Radio Show, presented by Nebraska Tourism, here on Destination Radio every Saturday at noon Eastern Time on Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 147. I'm Jill Thomas, and we'll begin our Nebraska Nice adventure in just a moment. The Nebraska Nice Radio Show, presented by Nebraska Tourism, continues on Destination Radio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 147. Be sure to visit our website at destinationradio.com. And now, more of our look at local holiday shopping in Nebraska. I'm Jill Thomas. Joining us is Megan Erke of Select Style in Lincoln, Nebraska. Megan, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we're making our way across the state, checking out different retailers and people who either offer Nebraska products or are based out in Nebraska, and they're one-stops that are home-owned, as opposed to maybe some of the bigger stores that are out there. You know what I mean. Can you tell me a little bit about Select Style and where you're located in Lincoln?
Select Style was opened in October of 2014, so we've just celebrated our first birthday not too long ago. And we are in Lincoln's Union College area, so just around the 48th and Prescott neighborhood. And we sell a variety of women's clothing and accessories.
48th and Prescott area, easy to get to from the interstate. If somebody were happened to be coming into town and they thought, you know what, we're going to go stop by that store.
So easy, yes. It's just right in the center of town, right off the 56th Street exit from the interstate. And there's a lot to do in our neighborhood. Lots of shopping, some great bakeries, a coffee shop. It's definitely a destination.
I like that.
In Lincoln.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. When that location was picked, were you involved in picking that spot?
Yes. Yeah. I opened the store, and really the location was one of the biggest reasons I wanted to go there. It's just a great part of town for shopping. It's easy to get to, and it's really fun. It's just a fun place to be and walk around the square, and most of the people there are very community-based and know each other. So it's awesome to be part of that neighborhood.
I like that. I like the enthusiasm, too, for a new business.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing to do, to take on a brand new business. Is this something you've always done or dreamt of?
It has been my dream forever, and it finally just felt like the right time and the right place, and I took the leap. And scary is certainly a great way to say it, but it is also so fun. As someone who loves a challenge, it's really exciting to me to be a business owner and have the opportunity to do that here in Nebraska.
Are you from Nebraska as well, Megan?
I am, yes. I grew up here in Lincoln and went to college at the University of Nebraska.
Very nice. Now, when you went to do the store, are you all on your own, or you have some partners in there too?
You know, I technically am all on my own, but nothing I don't think can happen on an island. So I had definitely the support of my husband and my family getting off the ground, but it is my store for all intents and purposes.
Well, it's called Select Style. Megan Erke on the phone with us from Lincoln, Nebraska. You said it's women's clothing and accessories. When you walk in the door, what would we be struck by?
I think what people would be struck by is probably the homey feeling. I really wanted it to feel warm and welcoming, which I think is something that a small business can do that's unique. There's immediately someone to say, hi, welcome, how are you today? And it's a little cozier. And I think people would also be struck if they came into Select Style to see unique things that they haven't seen before, especially in Nebraska. That's probably the number one comment I get is people say to me, "Oh, you have such unique things."
Now, how do you find the items that you offer for sale at Select Style?
I go to market twice a year in New York City and shop there. It's kind of like this big fair of sorts where everyone brings their samples for the next season, and I go and look through them and pick out what's going to come into my shop.
Very nice. And not only do you go travel to find items to offer for sale, I know you've got some local connections as well.
Yes, we are thrilled to have two local jewelry designers who have their pieces in our store. One is Piedras Designs, and that's very gemstone based. And then another one is called Designs by Holly, very lightweight, metal, more feminine.
I like that. Pieces. Now, are these things also offered online? Would we be able to browse any of these items?
You know, I currently don't have an online store, but we have social media presence and a website where you can look through things, and we always encourage people to call or email if something strikes their fancy.
That's that personal connection that you can actually call you up and say, "Hey, Megan, you know, I noticed an item that you had or that you mentioned or designer, and I'm just kind of curious if I'd be able to get that." And you can take care of them right then. Yeah, I like that a lot. What is your website, by the way?
It is Select Style Lincoln at selectstylelincoln.com, actually.
Yeah. Easy enough. Or the same way on Facebook and Twitter across the line?
It is. Instagram, it's all that /SelectStyleLincoln at the end.
So just in business for 1 year. So how did that first year, did the first year go the way you expected? Getting into business, and especially in fashion, retail store, you've got a lot of competition by some of the so-called big boys that are out there that are across the country, and it's kind of I'm not going to say homogenized in a bad way, but they offer the same things across the country. And you're sitting here in your own location that you handpicked, trying to stand out from the crowd. Are you finding you were pretty well received?
Yes, Lincoln has opened its arms widely to me, and I think people here are excited to shop in a store where the people working get to know them. And 90% of the time, you'll see me or my mom in the store if you come in. And we love getting to know people by name. And it's fun. A year later, now when I'm shopping, I can think, oh, that looks like Jill as I'm going at market. And I think that's the best part of shopping local is you build a personal connection with your customers, and your customers have a personal connection as they're shopping. And I think that's an experience you just can't replicate at a big store level.
It's true. And like I said before, they offer what they offer. And on the flip side of that coin, you're offering somebody who's gone into business as a career as opposed to a job. And this is a passion. And what you just described to me is practically having a personal shopper on my phone.
Yes. And that's one of our favorite things to do is if someone, we hear a lot of times people say they don't have time to shop. And I completely identify with that, especially as a business owner. I don't have time for a lot of things. And that's where having a small local business is amazing because we'll fill a dressing room and someone can come in for 20 minutes and not have to worry about hunting through racks or finding someone to help them. We have it taken care of. And I think that's the amazing thing is we can do that for anyone who walks through the door.
Do you see you have a certain age range that comes in that are drawn to certain items, or is it right across the board?
That's a great question. We have, I would say, 3 generations coming in to shop with us. We have high school students. We have women in the middle of their careers, and we have women who are retired and still love to look fashionable and have beautiful things to wear. So we see pretty much everyone, and that's an awesome thing, too, especially since I do this with my mom. There's 2 generations of us in the store, and so it's fun for us.
I bet it is. Now, you mentioned 3 different generations, so obviously being cognizant of what they're looking for, you're going to have favorites in each generation that are different from the others.
Yeah, I would say probably the younger shoppers we have love denim, which I just think is part of the casualness of the lifestyle that the younger generations have still. They're, if they're not working, they can wear jeans, or if they have a more laid back sort of job, that's something that they wear all the time. I see a lot of the older generations being drawn to things that are just easy to wear, that don't require a lot of work. So things like a beautiful cashmere sweater or a scarf that you can put on over a T-shirt or a jacket and make it look very finished and put together.
Mm-hmm. Can understand then you're business women. A little of both, probably.
Yeah, yep.
What are you finding anything in particular that people are drawn to this time of year? Obviously, we're just turning corners and getting into the winter season, and Christmas just around the corner. Maybe you have
Yes.
any special events or specials going on right now?
Yeah, I see a lot of people holiday dress shopping. I feel like it's the one time of year we get to be a little extravagant
Mm-hmm.
in how we look. And so I see lots of sparkles going out the door, which is really fun because the rest of the year it just doesn't feel right to have on something glittery. So it's fun to indulge ourselves if we like that sort of style and pick that out at the holiday time. We also see lots of cold weather accessories. So gloves, scarves, outerwear, lots of that is popular at this time because I know the snow this morning here surprised me. And I thought, oh, it's winter for real here in Nebraska.
When winter slides in, it doesn't let you question it, does it?
No, it does not. It is here with a bang.
Now, all those items you mentioned, too, I got to say, great gift items.
Oh, so easy because you don't have to worry about them fitting.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And
It's
come
really
in,
easy.
get them picked out, and be on your way and then ready to go with your gift list taken care of. That sounds great.
Exactly.
Boy, Megan, time goes by so fast talking to you, and it's really fun to get to know another local store in Nebraska. I want to thank you for taking time to be on the show with us today.
Oh, thank you, Jill. It was fun to chat with you.
That's Megan Erke, Select Style. It's in Lincoln, Nebraska. And again, your website, if you could.
Yeah, selectstylelincoln.com.
And look for them on social media as well, because you'll be able to find even more information there and make some contacts and say hi to Megan because she's the one that's running the store. So that's
Absolutely.
fantastic. All right, we're going to have lots more on Shopping Local for the holidays here on the Nebraska Nice Radio Show, presented by Nebraska Tourism. It's every Saturday at noon Eastern Time on Destination Radio on Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 147. The Nebraska Nice Radio Show, presented by Nebraska Tourism, continues on Destination Radio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 147. Be sure to visit our website at destinationradio.com. Now, more of our look at local holiday shopping in Nebraska. I'm Jill Thomas, and now we're going to head a little bit farther west. We just left Lincoln, Nebraska, heading to Broken Bow, Nebraska. We're going to talk with Cody Schmick. Hello, Cody. How are you doing? Just that time of year. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas.
So
you guys say we're clear out west, but you know what? We're actually right in the center of the state. It's the Lincoln and Omaha that are out. They're out east. West is the panhandle for us. Everybody thinks western Nebraska is just this side of Lincoln, but there's a lot of state left to see. People need to get out and see it.
Okay, as we go to Broken Bow, first off, for anybody traveling across the state of Nebraska and Interstate 80,
Sure.
Easy way to get to Broken Bow.
So if you're on Interstate 80, you can kind of go two ways. North Platte is a good cutoff heading up north, or Lexington. We're actually almost exactly straight north of Lexington, about 40 minutes.
Easy.
So nice
easy.
and easy. Yep, just get off on that highway through Lexington there and head north, and you'll run right into Broken Bow.
Now, there's a lot of things to do in Broken Bow. You and your family have added to the mix with your brewing company.
Well, you know, it's we love Broken Bow. We're excited to be in this part of the state, and yeah. So my day job is a grocery store. We actually bought the grocery store here in Broken Bow, and I've been here since 2010. And then I got to know these three guys here in Broken Bow: Dan, Barry, and Nate. And we started the Kincaid Brewing in late 2014. Our goal was to get it open in 2014. And we opened on December 27th, so we just made our goal.
Wow! So an anniversary on the way for you guys.
It is, yeah, right around the corner. We're gonna have a little Christmas party / anniversary party coming up on December 11th, and celebrate our 1 year in the business. And man, it's been a whirlwind.
I bet it has. When you put this all together, let me just ask: Did any of you guys have a background in the brewing industry?
Not in the industry per se. I mean, Nate would probably be the closest. Nate's ran Nebraska Beer Blog with a couple other guys around Nebraska for years, and they just it's just a blog that that kind of celebrates all things craft beer. They're posting on, updates of what breweries are doing around the state and just celebrating Nebraska craft beer. And then also they'll kind of are the in on what's going to be new to the state. So Nate probably had the most experience in the craft beer world. He's also been homebrewing for right around 20 years. And then Danny he's our brewmaster. Dan's been homebrewing right around 13 years. So combined experience, these guys have a little bit of brewing experience under their belt, but it wasn't commercial. I mean, it was all home brewing, 10 gallons at a time, and they've brewed with a lot of guys around the state, and the beauty of kind of what we do in this industry is that, if Zipline wins or Scratchtown wins or Nebraska Brewing wins, we kind of all win,
Right.
and as we're changing folks over to this market, as we turn these craft beer drinkers over, even if it's in another brewery, they're eventually going to make it out to Kincaider and Broken Bow. So it's good for the whole industry here in Nebraska.
So Kincaider Brewing Company, I guess really when you set out to do this in the game plan, as opposed to the way things turned out, how close are you sticking to the plan, and how's it going?
There are some things that we felt like we really stuck to the plan, but the early business plan, I actually just pulled it up the other day, and I was kind of going through it, and the growth has been far more rapid than we ever imagined. Like I said, we're about 11 months in, and we're at our 3-year mark that was on the original business plan. So that's pretty exciting, but we're just we're eventually trying to stay ahead of that, and trying to make sure we're making smart decisions as that growth is happening so rapidly. But we got a great group of guys. There's 4 of us in the mix, and all of us bring our own strengths to the table. And so it's an exciting problem to have, I guess. So.
Let me ask you this too: as a small brewer, is that your intent to try to keep it as small as far as I guess really being able to change things up, or are you looking to expand and grow?
I think when people open businesses, at least most people, when you open a business, the kind of the background goal is growth. For us, we just want to make great beer, and we want to grow the right way. We don't want to grow just for growth's sake, but we want to grow and build that customer base and build that camaraderie with other breweries and build our home base here in Broken Bow and we definitely want to grow. We'd like to expand out even further. We're on about 80 tap accounts around the state right now, and then we just shipped our 6-pack bottles out a couple weeks ago. So you're going to start seeing them in the Omaha Lincoln market. Should be out there now. And so we definitely want to grow, but we want to grow in the right way. We want to grow, smart. We don't want to just blow up and then all of a sudden our product's being compromised and our beer is not really hitting the mark that we want it to hit. So we are calculated growth, I guess, is what the best way to put it.
I like that because you want to keep it personal. You
Absolutely.
Still want to know your customers and keep in touch with what's working and what's not.
Absolutely.
Now, your facility itself, the location from Broken Bow, how do they find you?
Kind of took a page out of the winery handbook, and we have a little 2-acre farm a mile north of Broken Bow. We've got a couple buildings out there. We got our storage facility for all of our bottles and labels and 6-pack holders and case boxes, and you don't realize how much space all that stuff takes up until you start stockpiling it. And then we've got our tap room. Seats about 85 people, and it's a cool little bar in there. It's got a real nice vibe to it. We got a nice deck that we built off to the back so you can sit out there and maybe not in this weather, this time of year, but in the summertime it's a great place to sit out there and have a beer and look out into the sandhills.
I like that.
And then we have a little 2,000 square foot brew house that's got our 10-barrel brew house in there. Big window from the tap room looking back in there so you can kind of see what's going on and if Danny's brewing or bottling, you can look back there and appreciate that. We give tours all the time. Just hit us up on Facebook or give us a call or email. We run Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is when our tap room's open. So Thursday and Friday from 4 to 11 and Saturday 11 to 11. But like I said, if you go to everybody kind of knows Broken Bow for their town square. Mm-hmm. And that's the two roads that are running north and south on that town square is 9th and 10th. So if you head north on 9th and go out to Paulson Road, it's about a mile out of town, and then take a left heading back west, you're going to run right into us about a half a mile down the way.
Now, I'm going to just real quick here, Cody Schmick here with Kincaider Brewing Company before you get too far. Websites, Facebook, you're talking social media. Let's go ahead and lay those down there so people can check them out.
So right now we have a landing page at KincaiderBrewing.com.
Could you spell that too?
Yeah, so it's KINKAIDER Brewing, BREWING.com. And that's our landing page, and you can get to some of our Facebook and Twitter through there. We don't have a ton of information on there. We're kind of getting ready to launch a new website here, hopefully this year. But we probably do the most of our updates and posts on Facebook and Twitter.
Great.
So you can follow us on either one of those. And we're letting people know where they can find our beer. We're dropping in lists of restaurants and grocery stores and liquor stores or where it's available. And then just keeping people updated on new beers that we're coming. I mean, we got a new beer coming out almost every week. And so, just some fun events and different things that we're doing. So, yeah, get on Facebook and just search Kincaider Brewing. It'll pop right up. Follow us on there, and that'll be all you need for at this point. That's where we're doing most of our updates. Let people know what's going on.
No, that's great. And like you said, things are moving fast. It's like kind of surprised you a little bit, I have a feeling. But there's nothing wrong with that. With the four of you, I think you can probably take it on and handle it just fine. And I'm sure the community of Broken Bow also appreciates this, because this is only another way that home-based and hometown, family-owned businesses in Nebraska benefit their communities.
Broken Bow is really unique in that they really, there's a lot of really just an entrepreneurial spirit here in Broken Bow, and everybody is excited to keep this town on the upswing. And so many of these small towns they're losing population, losing businesses, and Broken Bow is just the opposite, because we're all here. We love this community, and we're continuing to grow it and bring in new exciting businesses, and we're glad to open Kincaider Brewing right alongside a lot of these really cool new businesses here in Broken Bow.
A little interesting tidbit, too. I was on your website, happened to notice, too. We're talking to Cody Schmick of Kincaider Brewing in Broken Bow, Nebraska. You guys, all four of you guys, have quite a history in that community.
We do, yeah. Nate and Barry, our hometown boys, they grew up here, graduated from Broken Bow High School. Nate owns Universal Insurance here in town, along with working at the brewery. Barry, he's a part owner in a couple of the hotels here in town, and he's got a couple other businesses here. But I'm proud to say we get a lot of his time at Kincaider Brewing. He's working quite a bit. Dan Hodges, he owned Hodges Conoco up in Thedford for about 20 years. Sold out a couple years ago, and I pulled him out of retirement to come and brew for us, and he's loving it. He's doing a great job. If you haven't had any of Dan's beers, you gotta give him a try. He's a fantastic brewer, and he spent a lot of time learning the trade. And then in 2010, me and my family opened Schmick's Market, the grocery store here in Broken Bow, and we just fell in love with this community, and me and my wife and my kids live here, so it's been a really, really good experience, and yeah, like you said, we all got ties to this area, and so it was fun to jump in with these three guys who I got tons of respect for, and I'm learning a bunch from every day in running this business. So
that's great. I tell you, Cody, thank you so much for joining us today. Cody Schmick with Kincaider Brewing Company. Just another example of local businesses and great places you can shop. Get online. What's your website once again?
Absolutely, KincaiderBrewing.com, or follow us on Facebook for all the latest updates.
Fantastic, and then order some beer.
Absolutely, yeah. Come out and see us. We got a lot of good events, and it'll be worth your drive to come out and see us here in Broken Bow.
Thank you, Cody. Appreciate it. The Nebraska Nice Radio Show, presented by Nebraska Tourism, continues on Destination Radio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 147, with lots more of local shopping for the holidays here on the Nebraska Nice Radio Show. The Nebraska Nice Radio Show, presented by Nebraska Tourism, continues on Destination Radio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 147. Be sure to visit our website at destinationradio.com. And now more of our look at local holiday shopping in Nebraska. I'm Jill Thomas, now with Susie Robison. Susie from Tekamah, Nebraska, Serendipity Chocolate Factory. How are you doing, Susie?
Yay. Well, I'm good this morning. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I'm excited to find out all about what you're doing in Tekamah and how it came to be. And I guess we'll just start with the beginning. Talking about Serendipity Chocolate Factory. How did this come to be?
Well, actually, we started making we have Master's Hand. So Master's Hand is inside of Serendipity Chocolate.
What is Master's Hands?
Master's Hand is a gift shop which started out as a candle company, and we make our own candles here, and that's how our crazy little world started. Is in 2003 we started making candles in our kitchen. We outgrew our kitchen, moved to the basement, and we outgrew the entire house, and the Lord provided us with this great big 10,000 square foot building, and we have been filling it up ever since 2008. We came to
Wow. Now, when you say we, who are we talking about?
My daughter, my son, and I.
That's great.
So us crazy kids did it.
That's great. That's another example of the family-owned, hometown-based businesses that benefit their communities. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. All right, now Master's Hand. So you got candles.
Yes,
What got you into chocolate?
Well, we had when we bought the building because we just couldn't grow Master's Hand Candle Company any further because we had just run out of space. And so we bought the building to be able to make more candles. Well, just happened to have a 40 by 80 foot showroom. And so we thought, well, what else we do? My heart was I loved hospitality. I loved to make people happy with their tummies. And so for me, we put in the chocolate factory and tea room area. We do luncheons and things like that. Everything's from scratch. We're farm girls, and so everything we cook, it's all from scratch. And then for my daughter, she loved just pretty things. She loved flowers, and so we put in the flower shop for her, and then we have a flower shop inside of Master's Hand, and then we also have a big gift shop in which we have candles and jewelry and home decor and scarves, and it's kind of just every woman's dream shop.
I like
you
that.
You gotta come.
I love that. Now, I'll tell you what, for somebody who happens to be maybe listening to the show right now or is going to be able to check it out a little bit later and check your website, let's start with getting to Tekamah. How would somebody get to Tekamah? They're traveling along Interstate 80.
Okay, on 80, let's see, you would get off, in Omaha, you would you would come up either Highway 75, depending on which side of town you're on. You could come up 75 through Fort Calhoun, Blair, and then we're just a little further up on 75 from Blair. That's a beautiful drive.
I was just thinking the same thing. It's a beautiful drive. Yes, absolutely.
Or you can take the Irvington exit and take the Blair High Road to Blair, and then we're just a little further down on 75 again. Or if you're out toward Elkhorn, you can take the road out that is at 133. Mm-hmm. Oh, 31. That's Highway 31.
Highway 31, yes.
Yeah. And then through Blair and again right up through to Tekamah. It takes us about 40 minutes.
That's not that bad at all. It's all good road. It's easy to get there. Once they get there, where are they going to find your building?
Yes, we're actually right out in the middle of nowhere. We're actually a very unlikely place in the middle of nowhere in a little bitty town of 1,800 people. But just before you get into Tekamah, on the left-hand side of the road, right on Highway 75, there's going to be a kind of a turquoise blue building, just a big building. It's going to be on your left-hand side or your on the west side, and that's us.
And that's you. And that's where they need to stop by and see you. Are you open 6 days, 7 days a week?
Yep, we're open 6 days a week from 9 to 5:30.
All right, now let's get back to this chocolate. Whose idea was chocolate? How did that start up?
Well, my mom and my aunt always did different kinds of chocolate things and different candies. And my Aunt Esther would all fall and Christmas, she would make different kinds of candies and things like that. And that was really my inspiration and where a lot of my skills came from. Now, leave it to us to take it to the next level and actually make a business out of it. Mm-hmm. We're kind of crazy like that. But that's where a lot of our recipes came from, our brittles and our toffee and things like that. And that's where really my love for candy making came from. But, again, it was just something that we did at Christmas time. But now we do it all year round.
Well, I have to ask then, since we're coming into that time of year and making chocolates and candies, what are some of your specialties and some of your favorites?
Well, definitely one of our specialties is our milk and dark chocolate sea salt caramels. That
that sounds
honestly,
wonderful.
I really think that you should come, because I'm not being over dramatic when I say it could change your life.
I'm going to trust you on that.
All right.
I'm going to trust you
All
on
right.
that.
But it's that sweet, it's that buttery, old-fashioned caramel that you remember from Grandma's house.
Yeah.
And then we cover that in either milk chocolate or dark chocolate, and we sprinkle it with sea salt caramel.
That sounds amazing.
You've got to come.
Now, okay.
We'd love to have you. We have free samples all day long.
Okay, let's start. If I go to Tekamah to come see you guys, this sounds like not only just to see the chocolate, this is a destination all the way around, because you can do a little shopping, have some lunch, and then get a couple treats. So you've got the meals that you serve as well, and this is all online. Where can they find this information?
If you go to www.mastershandcandles.
Okay, and everything is under that. You're going to be introduced to a whole world of deliciousness and beautiful stuff as well, all there in Tekamah. Now, if you can't make it to Tekamah, especially right now when they have all the Christmas delicious stuff that's going on, they can get online. They can order some of these goodies.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, you can either email us from our website, or you can just give us a direct call. And we ship out a lot. We make these gorgeous boxes. We fill them with all of our very favorite chocolates out here in the chocolate factory, and then we send them back to our florist, and she puts these gorgeous bows on and embellishes them. They're a masterpiece all their own. And we do ship those too. So if you wanted to do that, just give us a call or email. And these guys have been shipped to pretty much every state in the United States. And then we've also sent quite a few of them overseas, too.
Oh, my gosh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
A really great idea. Again, it's mastershandcandles.com, so you can get online, people, and that's how you can find the information and get connected, definitely, if you can't make the trip to Tekamah itself. But I would highly suggest you plan on spending a little time in Tekamah and get to meet Susie and her entire family. As a matter of fact,
we would love that.
As a chocolatier, how many other would that be? Would I call you a chocolatier?
Yeah,
okay.
We're all chocolatiers, and then we have a lot of Oompa Loompas that come in too. I couldn't do it myself. You gotta have helping hands,
Oompa right?
Loompas, yes,
you got to. That's great. I didn't know the Oompa Loompas were from Tekamah.
They're a real thing.
They're a real thing. Are there other chocolatiers in Nebraska?
There are some. There's Baker's Chocolate by Greenwood, and that is a very popular. They're kind of iconic. And there's a few other chocolatiers, but actually, to be honest, the only real chocolatiers that I'm aware of are Baker's and I that actually take the chocolate. We use a real chocolate, not a candy coating, not an almond bark. We use real chocolate that has to be tempered, a process that takes about 4 hours. And so, there's a lot of other chocolatiers around, but they bring in their
sure.
They
buy
what? Theirs.
It sounds like two is totally different experiences. Talking of you and Baker's, even two completely different experiences, two completely different probably lines of chocolates as far as the treats that you each make. Yours being a place to come in and sit down or do a little shopping as well, which sounds fantastic.
Coffee and cappuccinos, and we always have desserts and.
That sounds wonderful. Another bright idea for a place to do some shopping locally in the state of Nebraska, something you aren't going to find anywhere else. That's what you're going to find at Serendipity Chocolate Factory. Susie, thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
It was a pleasure.
And again, I will direct you and go to Masters Hand Candles Serendipity Chocolate Factory, and so much more. Speaking of more, yes, we have more local shopping for the holidays. It's here on the Nebraska Nice Radio Show, presented by Nebraska Tourism every Saturday at noon Eastern Time on Destination Radio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 147. The Nebraska Nice Radio Show, presented by Nebraska Tourism, continues on Destination Radio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, Channel 147. Be sure to visit our website at destinationradio.com. And now, more of our local holiday shopping in Nebraska. I'm Jill Thomas. Joining us, Kelly Sybrandt from the Whistle Stop in Bassett, Nebraska. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Jill. How are you today?
Doing fantastic. Tell us about, first off, Bassett, Nebraska. We've been making our way across the state, shopping in places like Broken Bow, Tekamah, and just kind of curious as we're heading to Bassett, if we're heading along Interstate 80, how do we find Bassett, Nebraska?
Bassett, Nebraska is way north of Interstate 80 on Highway 183. So you can take the scenic route through the sand hills and you make your way up here. So
which I would highly suggest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful drive. We're kind of an hour north of like the Calumet Reservoir, that area. And so,
which is
central, it's a beautiful area.
Absolutely gorgeous area. And I would highly suggest doing that and planning to spend the day and take in not only the scenery, but then, of course, places like the Whistle Stop in Bassett when you get to town. Let's start off with the Whistle Stop. You yourself running the store. Is this your own vision and your own dream? Is this something you put together years ago?
Yeah, it kind of started out. I've been doing this 18 years, and I started out in our local train depot, which is really part of the Rock County Historical Museum. And so my store originally was in the end of the depot where the depot agent lived.
Right.
And so it was little nooks and crannies, and it was pretty small. And so a year ago, I bought buildings downtown and redid them and moved downtown. And
that's
so
a lot
it's
of
a little
history,
more,
though.
Oh, yeah. Pardon?
That's a lot of history. When you talk about the Whistle Stop, it all makes sense now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why I named it the Whistle Stop because of the train depot, and so I kept it because I'm famous.
What are we going to find at the Whistle Stop?
Well, my goal is to try to provide something for everybody in our small community because we're so far from other areas, and we like to keep people at home shopping. And so I do fresh flowers. In the summer, I sell bedding plants. I have cards. I have women's clothing, a few kids' clothing items, lots of fashion accessories, candles, Christmas decor, gourmet food, Husker items. And then since I moved downtown, I bought almost like 3 buildings hooked together, but the one side has a old-fashioned soda fountain, which isn't quite upgoing yet, but it's going to be. And so I'm going to it's kind of like your 50s dime store. And so I have the old-time fixtures and toys over there. I did add toys when I moved downtown because our dime store did close. And so we need toys for birthday parties and that sort of thing. So I sell Melissa and Doug toys, which are awesome. And so...
You mentioned the dime store. About every small town had them at one point or another. I think ours was Ben Franklin's.
We used to have a Ben Franklin, and then,
You call it the dime store. You go down to the dime, because at one point, I guess things cost a dime. They didn't, not when I was growing up either, but at some point they did. But the dime store, So when those things leave, obviously for a small town, any of the smaller communities, you want to try and keep people in town. And it's so important to the economy, the local economy, because the more money that leaves town, it's just going to be hard for the businesses in Bassett itself.
Yeah, last year we did a promotion that if they took their picture, in a store, and then we entered their name. But the whole point was we gave away a $68 gift certificate to Bassett for Bassett Bucks sort of thing. But $68 out of every 100 is kept back in your local community.
Wow.
And keeps other people employed. And so it's important for your town, because who wants to live in a town that has no stores? So
there you go. Because it is. It's really incredibly difficult. And there are towns that are existing that way. Now, Bassett itself, what is the population of Bassett?
Oh, the town population's like 750, 800, but we pull from the rural communities. My husband and I ranch ourselves. So, I drive 22 miles to work. And so probably the whole county's like 1,500 or so.
Right.
But we pull from other counties too.
Well, when you get up to Bassett, to the Bassett area, if you're going to make the trip, it is a drive. And again, I say it's worth the drive. The beauty of the Sandhills itself will take your breath away if you've never seen it. For people that are coming up to stay the weekend or something like that, is that there are hotels, places to stay?
Yes, we have our famous Bassett Lodge and Range Cafe here, and it just recently is going to exchange hands at the first of the year. We were a little worried that it wasn't going to sell, but yes, it did sell, and we're delighted about that. And it's kind of your retro, funky 50s cowboy theme, Everybody loves it. And then also on the corner, we have an old Phillips 66 station that draws a lot of people that take pictures by the old pumps and that sort of thing.
I love it.
It's kind of fun. It's cute. It's really cute.
I love it. But thank God they preserved that. That's the thing. Somebody had the foresight to preserve it. Because in a lot of towns, everything is about moving forward and improvement and progress. And sometimes what's improvement and progress on the outside turns out not to be on the inside, and not the best thing for small town economies. The charm of the small town is what you're trying to preserve.
Yeah, everybody. I think people are realizing that it's important, too.
Exactly.
So.
Kelly Zybran on with us right now from the Whistle Stop, which is in Bassett, Nebraska. And you've got, like you said, it's clothing, it's everything. It's a dime store. And then some, 2015. You've got it all going on.
Yeah, we have home decor. I mean, we sell everything.
That's fantastic, and that's what your community needed, and that's the service that you're providing. And plus, also hopefully bring in some people from out of town to come take a look. Which would be, Now, if they wanted to find any more information on you, find you on Facebook.
Right. My Facebook page is the Whistle Stop, Bassett, Nebraska. And
what kind of things do you post up there?
Oh, I post new things or unique things. Posted a picture. I have a store dog. He's my little mascot. The other day on Small Business Saturday, he was wearing his little Small Business Saturday handkerchief. So I put a picture of him. Everybody loves the store dog. So
I like that. That's great. That's great. And I'm sure any specials or anything like that will be found on your Facebook page.
Correct. When we have open houses or, I just put new things on all the time, trying to keep people to see what's new coming in. So.
Exactly. And probably during the Christmas holiday time, anything in particular you like to point people to?
Oh, you just have to. My store has so much stuff that they just need to come in and check it all out. I mean, food is a big seller. We do sell some Nebraska items. We sell a lot of Nebraska chocolates, and we have Nebraska honey and seasonings and that sort of thing.
And those are the kind of things you can't find anywhere else. That's fantastic. Kelly, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Well, it's great visiting with you, Jill.
You betcha. Again,
I'll look forward to meeting you when you walk in my door.
Hey, I'll hunt you out. I will.
Okay.
I will. You and the dog. That's Kelly Zybran of the Whistle Stop in Bassett, Nebraska. Each week on Destination Radio, we like to provide you with useful travel tips from Alexandra. What have you got for us this week?
Sadly, airport security is back in the news again. I know I've covered airport security before, but here's a quick reminder to ensure you get through security smoothly and get to your gate on time. You can check in online within 24 hours of flying time and have your seat assignment and boarding pass ready. Remember the 3-1-1 rule. 1 quart-sized bag with 3.4 fluid ounces or less of liquid gels aerosols, and creams. Keep valuable items such as money, laptops, documents, or other items of value in a bag that can fit under the seat. It's always good to have your contact information inside as well as outside of your bag. Don't pack hazardous goods. Some may seem obvious, others may not, such as certain types of batteries or even dry ice, as I found on a recent flight. Visit airsafe.com for a list of items restricted or banned from airline aircraft. For detailed information on what you should know, go to www.tsa.gov. That's it for today.
It followed the Oregon Trail, the California Trail, and the Union Pacific Railroad on its way from New York to San Francisco. The historic Lincoln Highway on the next Nebraska Nice radio show, presented by Nebraska Tourism on Destination Radio on Sirius XM Channel 147 at noon Eastern Time Saturday. I'm Jill Thomas, inviting you to visit Nebraska. Visit Nice.